Hi, we're underneath the hood of our 1984 Chevy El Camino. This guy's a little bit different than your standard 84 El Camino though, because it has a crate motor, 454 in it. Not only that, it's an aluminum head 454. Got a big tube set of headers on it, has an air gap Edelbrock intake manifold on it, a Edelbrock Carter AVS carburetor on it, 750, has power steering, power brakes, factory air conditioning that blows icicles, at least a 4-pass, it might even be a 5-pass, I can't tell, it's huge, underneath this fan shroud. Aluminum radiator in it. All the hoses are new. The engine compartment itself is absolutely spotless. There is absolutely nothing that you can detract from perfection underneath this engine compartment. Has a set of black GM valve pan covers on it, new alternator, new water pump. Everything on this car is as it was when it was new, only on steroids. It's got a 454 in it instead of a, I don't even remember what these things came with, a 305 or 307 I guess it was. Just a little boat anchor motor. This is no boat anchor motor. This thing is a serious piece of equipment that gets the job done. Again, everything is as nice and fresh as could possibly be. It has a HEI ignition system in it, MSD of course, brand new set of high silicone plug wires with it, new battery. There is absolutely nothing under here that hasn't been addressed or is as new condition. It's a great engine compartment, great vehicle. So let's go around it and see what we can show you. Hi, you're at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida, and today our special guest on the floor is an 84 Chevy El Camino. Completely changed mechanically. It's a 454, it's built, it's got a nice cam in it, tons of horsepower, positive traction rear end, a 3-inch exhaust system, which you'll see in our undercarriage presentation. But let's do the outside of this, do it cosmetically, and see what we can find and what we can address. Cowl induction hood really gives it a nice pop, a real nice look. It has like a wine red metallic paint finish to it. The paint job is really nice on the car. It's better than driver quality paint job. It is not a show quality paint job by any means, but a very, very nice high quality paint job. Chrome around the headlights in the front is really, really nice. Both sides. A little tiny bit of a mark on the chrome right here. The chrome plated grille on it is really, really nice. I believe these are cast metal. Filler panel's nice. It's not broken or cracked in any place. Bumperettes in the front. Front air dam underneath the bumper. Chrome on the bumper is really, really nice. Bumper fitment horizontally and laterally is really straight. I don't think you could get it much better than it is. Of course, our Monte Carlo designation on the front. About 1/8 of an inch the whole way around this hood. Very nice fitment of the hood. I really can't see a single solitary thing that would detract from the appearance of this vehicle. Where the heck, I can't find. Oh, I'm looking for the marker lamps and turn signals, and they're right underneath the headlights. I didn't see them. They're white. They're nice, clear, bright lenses. Again, the front end of this vehicle is as nice as you'd ever want to find. Let's see what we can find on the side of it. Okay, down the side of our Monte Carlo truck. Side marker lights, you can see it really, really nice. I love this ground effects treatment that they gave this vehicle. I'm assuming it's aftermarket. It looks like one of those choo-choo conversions that they did way back when. And I'm guessing that that's what this was. And someone has just removed the nomenclature on it. And this is what we got at this point. Fender lip moldings, really nice. No marks or dents on them. Check this out. Flags with the 454 designation. Fitment of the fender to the front door, front part of the door, really nice. Again, our ground effects on the bottom. Original wiper arms, modern blades on them, like a Trico blade. Dashboard looking down into it is just as nice and fresh as you'd ever want to find. There's no deterioration whatsoever on the padded dash on this vehicle. It does have a tinted windshield. It does have air conditioning, factory air, don't forget. Trim around the front window. Very, very, very nice on it. A little bit of oxidation from the years usage, but it could be polished out if it was necessary, but it's fine just the way it is too. Drip molding, no marks, no dents whatsoever on it. Set of sport mirrors and remote adjust on this guy. The window wipes, whiskers are just as nice as you'd ever want to find. Wow, this car doesn't look like either someone removed all this stuff to repaint it, or it might be original paint on most of it. I can't really tell. Rubber around the windows, very nice on this side. A couple little marks in the paint right here. Certainly nothing that would dictate that you would refinish this roof for any reason whatsoever. It's really nice and straight on top, nice glassy finish, real nice and smooth. Concave back window, and again the trim around the window, the molding around the window is just as nice. Very comparable to the front. It has a little tiny bit of oxidation that could be buffed out if you wanted to. Stainless steel around the top of the bed, really nice. Again, the aluminum anodization on this is comparable to what we have around the windows. Maybe it's supposed to be that way. It's kind of a brushed finish. Kind of a brushed finish. Original door edge guards on it from the factory. I love his ground effects on this car. They're actually functional. We keep the tires from throwing up stones onto the side of the car. A little tiny bit of roughness here. I don't know what it's from, but that's about it. I don't see anything. A little dingy here. Maybe a door opens at one point right there. You can hardly see it. The fender wells are rolled up in professionally. You can feel that the metal's been rolled instead of trimmed or cut off. Also, if you look, it's got a huge, huge set of BFG TAs in the back and a matching, of course, smaller set in the front on a beautiful set of Krager SS wheels. Nice set of tires. We just put them on. So you got a nice set of BFGs on this car, white leather. Quarter panel on this car, bedside, I don't know what you call it on a El Camino. Everything fits, even the gas filler door, just as nice as you'd ever want. This car is just laser straight down the sides, absolutely laser straight. I just went over the whole side of the driver's side here, and I can't find anything that, again, you know, we're not talking a show quality car here. We're talking a driver quality, maybe a little better than a driver quality car with a lot of aesthetic appeal to it. This thing just screams at you. Let's see what's out back. Okay, around the back end of our Monte Carlo pickup truck. 454, because that's what it is. And you can see the tail lights and backup lights just as nice and clear as you'd ever want to hope to have them. Bumperettes in the back, of course, to match the front. Again, look at the bumper fitment on this thing, just totally amazing. Both sides the same gap, horizontally the same way. I mean, it could not fit any better than it does. It really could not. There's absolutely no way. Paint on the back, fitment of the tailgate, back door, whatever it's called. Really nice. Chrome around the license plate area is nice. Again, the fitment is just absolutely gorgeous. And it has a really expensive lockable cover for the back of it. It's on shock, so you can lift it up to put things into it. Just as nice in here as it is on the outside. It doesn't have a bedpan in it, but it has a rubber mat that fits precision for the bed of this pickup truck. And it's finished underneath the mat, which I'm sure Devin will show you, just as nicely as it is on the outside of this car. Really a nice setup. Really nice setup. And again, lockable. So back end of this car is as nice as you could ever hope to find one. Let's see what's on the passenger side. Okay, passenger side. This is getting boring because I can't find anything wrong with it so far. A little tiny bit of a, I don't know, I'm going to say the spray gun went and a little bit of water or something. You can't really see it. It'll probably wet sand out, but if you look at the right angle, you can see a little tiny bit of dirt in there, or water, or some distortion. Again, nothing chipped up, marked on the bottom. Wheel well molding, the same as the other side. Again, rolled up in very nicely done. And all solid tin too, by the way. I mean, there's nothing on this vehicle that isn't tin. It must have led a fairly easy life. Again, I really like the ground effects on this thing. It really stands out. Again, the top, there's a little mark here. I don't know what it's from. Maybe something fell on it at one point, a tree branch or something. Hardly noticeable, but if you look at it at the correct angle, you do see it. Silver, obviously on the top, and some more from the gun, right here. There's a little tiny bit there. Again, it may sand out, may not. Again, this is the first we're actually going over, so we haven't wet sanded this or buffed it or done anything cosmetically with it yet. We did address the condition underneath and everything, and we've been driving it actually, and we'll get into that here in a minute. Quarter panel to the door, just as nice as the other side. Whiskers wipes, really nice. This piece of rubber here, now it's not going to hurt anything. The window seats in here, the outer part is dry rotting right out here underneath the drip rail, which by the way is dent free. But it's dry rotting right here, so we may leave it alone. We may just replace this piece of rubber. I don't really know yet, but we'll have to check it and see and figure out what we need to do with it. Again, the mirror that matches on the driver's side. Fitment to the front fender the same way, 454 designation. Wheel lip molding again. We're back up front where we started. Side marker light. Tell you what, I've been over this whole car. Other than the few little imperfections that I pointed out, I can't really see anything on this vehicle that's really amiss. It's straight as an arrow down the sides. I know it runs exemplary. I had this car, I used it for about 3 days, and a little story goes with this. We've got a lot of these we've been doing the last few. We've done Volkswagens and Volkswagen convertibles and pickup truck Volkswagens and some stuff that's really out of character for us, but we're just playing with it and seeing what the market wants from hangsters in Daytona Beach. Even our green and black thing. Not sure what it is, but it's some kind of hot rod thing. It runs like hell, but good running vehicle. This is going to be our new shop vehicle. We've used it for a few days. Mechanically, it runs absolutely 100%. There's nothing that you can fault this thing for. Air blows cold, goes down the road straight as an arrow. It's got new rubber on it now, and we're going to use it as our shop vehicle for getting gasoline and tires and picking guys up at the shop after we drop one vehicle off for an oil change and pick up another one, and whatever we need to do to run it around. And we're going to retire our Ford Excavation, which we've used for the last couple years here, just because it's a lot newer vehicle. It gathers no attention whatsoever. When I pull into a gas station with this thing, people flock around it. I'm running out of business cards to give because of this vehicle. The Excavation did absolutely nothing for us other than transport things and people the way we needed them to. This will serve the same purpose until someone buys it. All I can say is I've used it religiously for a few days. We've put miles on it, and there is not one single mechanical thing that is a deficiency in this vehicle. It's as nice a vehicle as you could ever have. Got a lot of eyeball. We put signs on the doors, hangster magnetic signs, and it just garners a lot of attention. It's just a great vehicle. We encourage everybody that we show these vehicles to jump on a bird, come down, take a look at them in person. You don't have to hire a company to come in and evaluate the vehicle for you. Come do it yourself. We have a rack. We can put it up on the vehicle, put it up on the rack. You can check it out yourself. You can drive it. You can look at it. You can spend all day playing with the car. Would rather meet you in person. Would rather present the vehicle to you in person also. Vehicle inspections don't do a thing for you. Airfare is very, very inexpensive, especially this time of year. This is a vehicle that if you're looking for, it's very inexpensive. You're going to flip out when you see what you can buy this thing for, and I hope nobody buys it for a while because we really need it at this point. So take a look at it. It's on the Hangster's website. Devin and I are going to do an interior and an undercarriage and go for a ride in this thing, and you'll have the whole video presentation. Okay, we're in our 1984 Chevy El Camino with the cowl induction hood and the 454 aluminum head hypo steroid motor in it. Really, really a neat car. The dashboard in this car, as we previously stated, is just as original, nice and clean and unfaded on the top of the dash as it could possibly be looking through the windshield. Nice and clean. Nothing is disrupted on the dash itself. It's all original, just the way it left the factory. All the gauges, which it is a complete instrumentation package, by the way, they all function as they should. It's a console and buckets, obviously. These are leather seats. They are not plastic or genuine imitation leather. They are leather. Really nice set of seats. Original sun visors to match the tan accents on the interior. All the trim around the inside of this vehicle is just as nice and clean and undisrupted as it was when it was new. The headliner has no sag or no droop whatsoever to it. None. Power windows, power locks. You can see the door panels on both sides. Devin will show you still pictures of them. They're as nice as can be. Does have air conditioning, blows ice cold. Has a radio. I have no idea if it works or not. We'll find out here shortly. Does have a steering wheel. This is a first for me. I've never seen anything like this. It has a steering wheel that's a wooden wheel, looks like a real high dollar item, with a key. So you can unlock the steering wheel off of the column and take it off. What you do with it once you have it off, I have no idea. I guess it is a theft deterrent, but what do you do with it once you have it off? You can't walk around with it shopping all evening. But anyway, it does come off. I've never seen anything like it, but it does have it. It's a high dollar wheel. Carpeting in the vehicle is original and nice as can be. El Camino floor mats on it. It does have the cubby hole in the back. There is no spare in the back of it, but there's a huge cubby hole storage space that goes underneath the bed somewhat. Really nice setup. Console in the center. This vehicle is as clean and as new a vehicle inside as it was on the outside. There's absolutely nothing that detracts from the appeal of this vehicle on the interior of this thing. So we're going to go for a ride in it now, see what it runs like. I already know what it runs like because I drove it for a few days. But we're going to show you, and we're going to do an undercarriage video, then you'll have the whole thing, and you'll know exactly what you're getting here at Hangster's. Okay. Here we go in our Monte Carlo pickup truck. We got a speedometer that's bouncing, so I know it's going to work, but we do have about a quarter of a tank of fuel. The gauge is functioning. Temperature is just coming up. I know it works because I drove this for a while. About 14 volts charge, which is right. We're idling about 800 RPMs in gear, which is about right with this little cam that's in it. The oil pressure gauge is pegged. It does come down when it warms up a little bit, but right now it's holding good oil pressure. Air conditioning I know works fine. It blows icicles. I mean, it absolutely blows icicles out here. So we know the air does work. Let's see what else we got here. We got wipers. I know we got wipers somewhere. There we got wipers. We got wipers that function. Okay, we got left turn. We got right turn. We got, I know there's a horn here somewhere. That ain't it. I know because of the Mickey Mouse steering wheel that there's a horn button here somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I know Rod had one put in. Anyway, I know we have a horn that works somewhere. So let's go for a little ride, see how this baby runs. And I knew how it runs because I drove it for a few days. Every shift is nice and clean and firm. Every one is very precise. Get around this little turn up here, I'll let go of the steering wheel, and I know it goes straight. 700 R4 tranny, and it shifts into fourth gear. We're in overdrive right now. Every shift is nice and clean and crisp as can be. Brakes. Cold yet, but nice running rig. Nice running truck. Good. Look at that. No hands. Down the road straight as an arrow. Okay, we're underneath our 84 Monte Carlo truck, El Camino. This thing's really a nice vehicle. We just went for a video drive in it, so we just took a nice long ride in it. Came back, a little warm under here right now yet because of the heat radiating from the engine, but you can see has about an 8.5, 9-quart Moroso pan on it. It is a crate motor 454, new shocks in the front, new bushings on the heavy-duty sway bar. The tie rod ends appear to be new on both sides. Ball joints the same way. They appear to have been replaced at some point in their life and are fresh. All your rubber mounts are nice and fresh looking in the front. Has a set of long tube, I'm going to say 1 7/8 headers on it that go into about a 3.5 collector, reduced down to a 3-inch and then down to a 2.5-inch. So let's concentrate up front. I'm getting all over the place here for you guys. It does have a new converter in it. It is 700 R4 tranny with a deep B&M pan on it, so I'm going to guess it's a B&M converter. It's blue. Really nice frame structural parts in the front. The box frame is just as new as it was when it left the factory. All your hydraulic lines are original and transition toward the back through the inside cup part of the C-channel frame that are on these vehicles. The box channel quits right here and then picks up at the end of the C-channel in the back. Someone has done something with this structural member that supports the back of the transmission, and I can see why. Because of the size of the collector on the header, they had to cut a chunk out there, but they've more than reinforced it over top of the transmission mount. It's more than structurally, it's as strong or stronger than it was from the factory, so nothing's been compromised in that area. It does have seat belts inside too. I forgot to mention that whenever we were in the interior. It does have the shoulder bolt system on both sides that both function. Fuel line on this side just as nice and original as could possibly be. Floor pans and substructures as nice as you'd ever want to find. One thing you have to notice, and I'm underneath here, we just came for a long run on this vehicle. There's not one single drop of oil or fluid of any sort. We don't have anything from the radiator. We don't have anything from the oil pan, the back of the engine, the front part of the torque converter transmission, or the tail shaft, or the pan on the tranny. All that is just as dry as can possibly be. Also the deep B&M pan you can see. Again, let's concentrate on our floors. I'm jumping everywhere here. The functional original parking brake assembly still intact and just as sweet as can possibly be. The floor behind the driver's seat is all original, really nice. This one's a little different. I can't really tell you that there's something, it just appears to be a little different on this side than that side. Maybe someone jacked it up on this side at some point of its life and had to redo this side of the floor. Certainly it had nothing to do with any perforation issues. I don't see anything whatsoever on this frame that would indicate that there was any structural compromise on any of the floor pans on this. They're all just as nice and clean and straight as they could possibly be. Exhaust system has the X chamber in it, basically the same as a H-pipe crossover system that gives you a lot more flow with the dual exhaust system, that go into two under chassis mufflers that have a nice rumble to them, not real loud, but a real nice deep tone to them. Again, our C channels go on to the two frame sections in the back, which become box again. So let's go in the second half and see what we can find. But you can see on the front half there's absolutely nothing, and I am pointing out there are no leaks. Tail shaft, transmission, bell housing area, torque converter, rear main, or the engine itself. There is nothing. Dry as a bone. We just came back from a ride in this vehicle, a nice lengthy ride, and you see it. There it is. Motor's still hot. Let's see what's on in the second half. Okay, neglected to mention, I'm jumping everywhere here, so I'm going to try to pick everything up eventually. I forgot to mention, it does have discs in the front, and all the hardware and everything for the discs, including backing plates, look to be absolutely as new condition. Has ventilated drums in the rear. The swing arm assemblies appear to have newer bushings in them. Does have a sway bar like an F41 suspension would be. Really a nice solid back end on this car. 10-bolt rear with the ears on it, which means it's a heavy-duty type rear. It does have pause traction also, by the way. It does have a pause traction tag on it. It does leave two black markers. Must be pausey. Air shocks in the back. No leaks whatsoever anywhere. Original gas tank in it. No dents in the tank. No marks on it. The frame structure, that's the box frame in the back, transitions the whole way to the cross member across the back end of this vehicle, and it's all undisrupted. It is just as new as it could possibly be. And again, 2.5 inch in, 2.5 inch out. There's two dumps that go down, two turn downs. There is absolutely nothing underneath this car, nothing deteriorated. The drop downs in the quarter panels are just as new as they could possibly be. Both sides the same way. You can see new rubber all around it. We just did that. Again, no leaks, new exhaust system, floor pans, everything totally undisrupted and as nice as it could possibly be. Great shop truck. Hope nobody buys it for a while because we're going to use this guy. But it's really competitively priced. So take a look at this. If you're in the market for juiced up El Camino. Now this thing did come out of a collection. Attorney in New York used it as a show vehicle up in New York area, and it does have New York inspection, and they're very stringent with everything, so you know this guy's got everything working as it should. The brakes, the suspension, the shocks, the lighting, everything in this has to be up to snuff to get a New York State inspection, which this one does have. Came out of that collection. It was a show vehicle. It was not used as a winter vehicle, obviously. So that's what we got. Nice shop truck. Got to take a look at this one.